I'm going to talk about Warframe.
Okay.
Yes, I don't even know how I ended up playing this. I think, because I was browsing massively, and they had a big bit on there about how Warframe's going to be adding a shared space where you can walk around and see other players. And I thought, hey, what?
Did you see Eve are announcing they're getting rid of their shed?
Oh God, yeah,
they're getting rid of the
standing in a room.
Yeah, standing
feature.
in a room's going away.
Standing in a room's going away. Which is, I don't think anyone's going to miss it by the sounds of it. Very ill-advised thing. That was all because they had their big World of Darkness Shanghai studio, wasn't it? And they were doing...
They sold that off.
Yeah, I know. Well, at the time, they had people doing that in Dust as well. So obviously they had a lot of spare people doing people standing in a room type technology, and they threw it into Eve without really thinking about it.
Anyway,
yes, Warframe. So it's quite hard to describe, really. Now, I'm going to make all sorts of comparisons with Destiny, but I haven't really played Destiny, so I'd probably...
I haven't really played Destiny.
I've seen you do it now and then.
Yeah, you've not played Destiny at all?
No, well, I can't because I have a PC and no suitable console. So I probably could play it on a 360, I guess.
You could, yeah.
Can't
You
be
did come out
bothered.
to 360.
I don't use my 360 for games.
But anyway, the
anymore.
new one's coming out soon. It's on PC as well.
Yeah. And I don't know, did Warframe come out before Destiny or vice versa? I think...
Yes or no?
There's a very similar aesthetic to what I vaguely understand of Destiny anyway. It's this weird far future solar system, the Earth solar system, set in the year whatever, I have no idea. There must be something somewhere, some law, but we're talking probably 4,000 or 5,000 years in the future at least. And some things, there's I haven't seen anyone who's appreciably human yet. So,
okay, fair enough.
So everyone's either gone weird post-human or really transhuman or whatever. You got the solar system sort of seems to be racked and ruined between two major factions, the Corpus and the Grineer, and one of them is sort of like a big sort of organic-y, clone-y type of lot, and then the other is sort of a sleek metallic kind of technology lot. And into all of this, you get awakened from your pod. You're one of the Tenno. Tenno, something like that. You're basically I can't work out what you are. You're a robot, a guy in a suit, some kind of weird humanoid nano infestation that's got like weapons and a sword, or probably any and all of the above. And I think apparently the suit is called a Warframe. That's your title drop. And you have various different sorts of those, which is your classes, I think. And there are all sorts of primary and secondary weapons as well, and they become sort of specialisations within the class. And they all level up in XP and stuff. And basically, yes, you're woken up, drop into the middle of this raiding force in this base, and are contacted by an enigmatic woman called the Lotus, who starts basically being your mission controller, telling you what to do, and you go off and start murdering people on her say-so with no real context. It's a really fast-paced, pacey, satisfying, meaty third-person shooter-type melee game, and it's essentially mission-based. Your sort of four-player co-op mission-type thing going on there. I very early on found the drop-down to select it to solo mode though, which was probably just as well, because the few pickup group ones I've tried have been absolutely crazy. Not abusive or anything, it's just everyone else is so good and so fast at that game that I just spend the whole match running along behind picking up shinies and hoping I get to the end without inconveniencing them too much.
Yeah.
But apart from that, so you have these various different Warframes. I think I picked the Excalibur one. It lets you choose one of three at the start, and that's very good melee, balanced starter sort of thing. And off you go through various different types of missions. There's assassinations, sabotage ones. There's some spying missions, which involve a bit of stealth gameplay there. Some degree of puzzle mechanics in trying to sort of get to the objectives on the spying ones without being detected, the sort of stealth gameplay there. There's a lot of charging around, just murdering people at high speeds. There's all the various sorts of guns and ammo and so on, rifles and stuff. I ended up picking a bow. It gives you on the first tutorial mission, it lets you pick various different weapons as you go through and choose from several available ones. I ended up with some throwing knives and a bow, because I like the idea of all the stealth stuff. And it's I don't know, the missions can take about sort of 15 minutes to half an hour, and really fast paced, and a real good sort of tight feel to the motions, the animation, the sort of gunplay of it all's really satisfying as well. I'm really enjoying it, and it's a big old free to play thing. They got their own internal currencies and all the rest of it. And as far as I can tell, they tend to be selling convenience. Lots of stuff's locked behind very long progress bars or a fair bit of grind drops and stuff, and you can shortcut that with real money, I guess. I haven't really seen the need for any of that so far. And so you end up in your spaceship at the end of that, and you sort of need to, the sort of early tutorial missions have you sort of unlocking different subsystems on the spaceship by raiding different bases for the bits that have been stolen and so on, and there's a crafting bench in there and an arsenal to let you do your equipping and a lot of mods. So all your bits of equipment have a certain number of mod slots, and that number of mod slots goes up as you level the equipment, including the Warframe itself, your big chassis. I still don't know what's actually inside that suit or what's powering it.
Don't ask.
Some sort of alien space virus, I think.
It's really best not to know.
Yeah. But the aesthetic of it is really quite distinctive. It's all sort of... I'm almost thinking Final Fantasy 13, that kind of sort of crystals and weird coloured lines and stuff and weird organic shapes and everything. It really has a real look and feel that's quite unlike anything else I've seen. But like I say, I'd recommend you have a look at some of the video, obviously I bought for the show. See what you think, because you've played Destiny and you might have an idea of how similar or different that looks.
I would imagine it's not very similar and not as polished and
Probably.
not as much.
It's certainly not a first... I don't think it's first person. It might be a first person mode, but I haven't found it. It seems to
Doesn't have any Nathan Fillion.
No. It's quite lower down on the voice work. There's no floating robot thing. That's actually no. I tell a lie. There is a floating robot thing that you can unlock early on that follows along and shoots stuff.
Okay. Is it snarky?
It doesn't have a personality. No. The spaceship has a quirky personality. Yeah, which you could do without, but. That's all good. So you got this big sort of solar system map you sort of zoom in on, and there's a whole bunch of different locations on each planet. And basically, I suppose the sort of solo progression involves you sort of working your way around the different planets of the solar system, unlocking each of the relays so you can move on to the next. Yeah. And each relay has a bunch of tasks. Kill 10 of these, go to that particular mission and do X waves of that, So you work. So there's a sort of progression through the game that seems quite satisfying. I mean, I think I'm just about unlocked Mercury now. You start on the Earth and go in, then come back out for Mars and so on. But I was on Venus, and I don't know. This is like weird. It must be very far in the future because I was outside in the snow on Venus. In one of the bases.
It snows on Venus.
Well, I suppose it does after sufficient terraforming, yeah. But no, I mean, basically what you've got there is a very limited set of tile sets that they're just reproducing across. I'm looking forward to surface missions on Jupiter. As far as I can tell from the map, I think that may be a thing. But certainly, you hand wave it sufficiently advanced magic, whatever. So, you've got a variety of different tile sets available. And I think the recent thing they're making a big thing of is we've just remastered all the Earth tile sets, and some of those look really good actually, sort of massive overgrown installations and jungles with vine growth everywhere and waterfalls, and it does look very good. I mean, this game's been going quite a while now. It must have been out for like 2 or 3 years, I think, and I guess now it's that sweet spot of an MMO, where do you come in on one? You can follow it before launch and jump in on day one, or you can, toddle along 3 years later after they've done their inevitable free-to-play drop, and have built up a massive wealth of content that you don't have to wait for like 2 months before they add something new, because so much there that you've never seen before. So, I don't know. I mean, I was giving that a go, and I thought, I could quite like this, It scratches an itch. It really does. There's a real action pace to it, particularly compared to normal MMO combat or the more sort of slower space games or RPGs I sort of tend to be playing at the moment. So I'm liking it. I like it. I tried multi had a go as well.
Okay.
We were duoing through. I think he was a bit baffled and mystified by the complete initial thing, and also I don't think because I must have some sort of instinctual paranoia, because the very first mission is solo because you're teaching how to move and stuff, and also dishing out the weapons and stuff as you move through. But then from mission 2 onwards, it defaults into public 4-player pickup group co-op, and I don't know. I just looked up in the top corner of the map navigation interface, and I thought, what's public group? So I managed, solo. So somehow I managed to actually avoid any kind of sort of pick-up bafflement. Bonus. But I imagine if you just roll with it, the second mission onwards, you're going to find yourself paired up with 3 people who utterly know the game inside and out, who have all the gear, who probably have fancy warframes that you've never seen or have no idea what they do, considering you're only used to the first one. It must be quite a baffling introduction to the game. I think probably the solo stuff. I don't know. Do you want to encourage people to get straight into the matchmaking early on, or do you want them to find their feet and understand how to play?
The matchmaking is the content, so of course you do.
Well, the matchmaking has the potential to drive people away from the game screaming as well. This is not necessarily a criticism of players. I've not come across anyone in there who's been rude or abusive or anything like that. It's not their fault. They're just very good at the game and have been playing a long time. I mean, eventually,
that pretty much is their fault.
Yes, it's no one else's fault, is it? No, okay, fine. It must be my fault that I've not been playing enough yet.
Yes.
I mean, that newbie bafflement goes away quickly enough, and eventually I'll be just another sprinter getting to the objective like the rest of them. But that early phase, if you've got no idea what anything does, the last thing you want is 3 other people, getting sarcastic at you in group chat because you haven't reached the objective quickly enough. So yeah, a bit of a harsh introduction, but the basic gameplay is a lot of fun, very satisfying, very meaty. Yeah, I could see myself sort of going for it. I mean, the long-term play, obviously you want to work your way around the solar system, and then I guess there's rinse and repeat for special gear and so on. They do a lot of promotions fairly often with particular warframes or particular equipment available on special every now and then. Some concept called vaulting. Some of the sort of more fancy dandy warframes, the actual the suits, the classes there, I think are only available for limited times around the year, and they get vaulted or something. So that seemed to be a sort of ongoing source of news and excitement amongst these sort of random chatter you see on the game zone chat thing, general chat. Something to look forward to, I suppose. I can see the thing is the crafting and the equipment seems to be the progression, because the way the XP works is you go through, you kill loads of stuff, you do your thing, you succeed, hurrah, win, you gain XP, and the suit and each of the pieces of equipped weapons all sort of have their own XP bars, and they all cap at 30. Yeah, and you have your own personal rank, which is a mastery rank, so that's your player actual ranking, and that only seems to go up when you've done enough stuff with the bits and pieces. So basically, what I'm saying is that you can get to a point quite quickly, I imagine, where you've maxed out everything.
Yeah.
So you've got 6 pieces of equipment, including the suit, and each of those got caps at level 30, and then doesn't gain XP anymore. But so far, I've found enough extra blueprints and crafting materials and weapons that you can buy for in-game money rather than the cash shop currency to be able to unlock further progression. So it seems like, I suppose, if you cap out all the gear early on, you're going to be end up in a situation where you got wasted opportunity. You could have been earning XP, but all these bars are maxed. But then a lot of the time, then I wonder if the way to progress involves using guns and equipment that you just don't like the feel of, you can end up having to level those just to get sort of the progression going.
Yeah.
You're sort of forced to use a sniper rifle when you love using SMGs or whatever, just so that you can carry on earning XP and progressing. I don't know, but then ultimately, what does the progression even mean? I'm seeing that the monsters have, the missions themselves have level ranges, so presumably that suggests that you should be using this, that, or the other gear. But then, unless different suits and different equipment are actually intrinsically a lot more powerful than each other, you're going to be capped at max level 30. It feels like Guild Wars in a way, because Guild Wars you never get higher than level 20, but you can try whole different skill bars and start working that. And with this system, I suppose what you do is, if you've got a whole new gun that starts at level 0, you'll need to go back to Earth and do some of the low end missions to gain some XP to make the gun go up, or you can just wing it at the high end and it will soon level up quite quickly. I got a shotgun. That's very satisfying, particularly because some of the missions involve defending a thing.
Oh, I hate them.
Yeah, there's a defend the whole hold the fort type mission. Basically, you've got this sort of Tenno cryopod thing in the middle with a certain amount of hit points and shields, and you have to guard it when all sorts of stuff comes in. And one of the factions is the Infested, and they all seem to be like weird, gribbly chaos monsters made of pus generally, and they're just charging in melee types. And there's me trying to one hit them carefully with the sniper bow. At the time, it's just no, this is not working. I mean, the default sword he gets really good as well. If everything else fails, just go mad with pressing E lots and just slashing like crazy. But the shotgun seemed to be a lot better for that kind of hold the fort mission. I found another one where you have to defend 4 points.
Okay.
And there's creatures coming in, and if they get near the point, they take it back. It's very much that sort of capture the battleground type flag type mechanic. And I thought, wow, this is such a... I think Warframe has its roots in essentially deathmatch type instance gaming, and they've sort of over the years managed to try and string that out into some kind of longer narrative thing with the planet maps and so on, because a lot of these felt like throwaway one-off matchmaked battleground maps, a lot of the mission types, and they've sort of managed to do a fairly good job stringing those together to make something a bit more narrative. But it's not like Mass Effect. It's not a story journey of 10 hours with full cast voice acting. Yeah. It is just mission, and each mission they've done some work to try and make it sort of string together to make a kind of story, and there are quest chains that exist within the overall thing. But I mean, just getting to Pluto and Eris and whatever at the end of it is probably the main progression. And since I got to Mercury, I slammed into a real, oh my god, these are a lot more difficult. There's suddenly, because the first Certainly Earth was very easy, Venus fairly easy as well. But now on Mercury, I'm starting to see new enemy types. There's like ones that have got vast numbers of hit points, ones that have got flamethrowers. So it's just like, oh wow, okay, I'm going to have to start thinking about this, be a bit more careful about things. It seems like a meaty thing, though. And, of course, there's the collection aspect of it. All your equipment has mod slots, and you collect the various different mods from drops, and that can significantly sort of modify how the character and equipment handles. But saving up for the resources and the blueprints for whole new warframes or whole new guns, and they have prime versions of all the gear as well, which presumably are a bit better. Well, it's something to work towards. So, I mean, given the rarities of the drops and the time it takes to accumulate all this stuff, I think that's your mid to long-term gameplay. And whether that's going to be satisfying enough, I don't know. But I really am enjoying the moment-to-moment gameplay. It handles really well. It's just a very good sort of third-person shooter. I'm enjoying that aspect of it. And I really like the aesthetic as well. I mean, obviously, given the limited number of tile sets involved, I'm probably going to have seen all the levels and all the bits it makes the levels up out of very quickly. But, you know, the aesthetic of it all is quite fascinating. It's like nothing I've seen elsewhere. Except maybe some of the clips I've seen of you playing Destiny. So it's that kind of thing, and very interesting. I'm liking that a lot. So yeah, I don't know if there's a static group potential there. I mean, it's a 4-player instance game, so you know there could be problems there if lots of people want to try that. But I mean, I could see me a multi dropping in and doing some duo stuff.
That's better than Destiny, which is a 3-player.
3 is it? Okay. Yeah. But as a sort of throwaway in between things game, I can dash out a mission in there fairly quickly, although you know they're starting to get more difficult and I might have to sort of put some real effort in and have a real think about it. But obviously I don't want to have to sort of steamroll on my way through the whole thing. There is no difficulty level as such. It's an MMO. It is what it is. And the difficulty level involved, I suppose, is making sure you've got the right sorts of gear as you move forward and checking the levels attached to each mission as you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, surprised by that. I thought it was just some rubbish free-to-play thing. You know, it's in that sort of bracket, but it's really good and not terribly exploitative as far as I can tell.
Cool.
So I think I should be playing quite a bit more of that.